So you're thinking about buying or selling in Saskatoon this spring? You're going to want to hear this because the numbers, the mood, and the market are all shifting in a big way. Hey, I'm Brad Chisholm, your friendly Saskatoon realtor. Let's talk about what's actually happening here and what it means for you moving forward into the spring. So let's start big picture, right? Uh, Tariffs, man. Something that we've never really paid attention to until just very recently, having a big impact on what's going on. The elections, the most recent one in the U.S., which obviously is throwing things into a bit of a chaotic state, plus the election here in Canada, which is coming up at the end of April, on April 28th. Um, it's all there's more drama right now than an episode of Real Housewives. Like it is bonkers out there, and we're gonna take a few minutes here to sift through the noise and make some sense of it all for you here in Saskatoon. Markets can handle good news and markets can handle bad news, but it's uncertainty that really makes a mess of things. The one thing that markets hate more than bad news is not knowing what's coming next. Right now, we're seeing a lot of uncertainty, both globally and here at home in Saskatoon and in Saskatchewan and in Canada. Um, when people get nervous, they often hit pause on big decisions. While some people are hitting pause, the real estate market here in Saskatoon is definitely heating up. So focusing locally here in Saskatoon, spring market is definitely here. Inventory, as I've mentioned in the last number of months, inventory is still really low. So it's still a challenge that we're having to navigate, either whether you're on the buying side or the selling side. Buyers are out in full force and more are on the way. Like moving into the spring, there'll be more activity. And homes are selling fast. Um, right now, the average days on market, 26 days. From the time the sale or the sign goes on the lawn to the time that the new people move in is about 26 days, which is very fast. Um, Last year in 2024, the average was 34 days on market. The year before that was 37 days on market. Doesn't seem like a big difference, like 34 days down to 26 days. So what? But when you think about the large volume and how many houses have to sell faster in order to make that happen, it's a very significant difference. Um, Sellers are cashing in on this. The average home is now selling for 101.8% of the asking price. So what's that mean exactly? Well, if you list your house for $400,000, you'd be walking away with 407,200. Not bad for painting the fence and fixing the light. It's a big difference. When you start seeing the average sale price above the asking price, that means there's a lot of houses, like half of them, that are going for over asking price. And then the other half, they could even still be going for asking price or just below asking price. This is a monumental shift in Saskatchewan real estate market right now. If you are thinking about selling, now could be a really, really great time to do it. All the market factors that sellers look at are pointing toward a very strong time to be selling right now. Um, but keep in mind, just because your house could potentially sell really quickly, it doesn't mean you can skip out on the prep. What I mean by that is you still want to, like I said, you still want to paint the fence, you want to fix the lights. Any of those little repairs around the house are going to help make your house appear even better and get you a better price when you sell. Now, that advice holds whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's still something that you want to be aware of. Make those repairs, put your house in the best possible frame for people to see it, and you'll get the most money for it. For the buyers out there, of course, first thing you want to do is talk to your mortgage broker. Before you fall in love with a house, you need to have your financing organized. Um, you want to have your you want to have your ducks in a row before you make that offer, because in this market, if you hesitate or if things get held up on the financing side of things, you can lose the house. And I've seen it. I've worked with buyers that it's happened. I've seen it when we sold a place and buyers couldn't get their financing, they had to walk away. Not a situation you want to be in when you're a buyer and you found that perfect house. you want to make sure that everything's going to line up for you for a nice, smooth closing. Um, the other thing I'll mention too is know your comparable properties. What I mean by that is if you're going to buy a house in Riversdale, it doesn't make sense to look at what other houses have sold for in Stonebridge or Rosewood or Caswell Hill. It's an apples to oranges kind of comparison. If you're buying a house in Stonebridge, look at what other houses in Stonebridge have sold for, know those numbers so that when you go to put your offer together, you can make it as strong as possible so that you win that bid because there's probably going to be multiple offers. Know your comps and go in with a strong offer. Um, I'll mention quickly the election that's coming up here in Canada on April 28th. It's making things, man, far more polarizing this election than I've seen, I think, in any other time. And a lot of that, again, in my opinion, it's leaking over from the United States and messing with people. And I've just not seen it before. It's interesting. People are getting very passionate on either side, whichever side of the fence you happen to be sitting. People are starting to form some really, really strong opinions, which I don't remember seeing in the past. It's fine. It's making it quite emotional. Um, Please keep in mind that we'll do a lot better when we're working together, whichever side of the aisle you are leaning towards. It's always going to go better if we figure out a solution together. Okay, let's talk about the local statistics here in Saskatoon. Last month in March 2025, there was 403 home sales, which is higher than last year, and it's 13.4% over that 10-year average. So we're selling more houses than average right now. The inventory is only 602 properties that were available in March, which is 25% lower than March of last year and 58.7% lower than the 10-year average. So less than half of the number of houses that are usually on the market are what's on the market right now, and we're selling more than average. It's continuing to squeeze buyers, more and more buyers into fewer homes, which are continuing to push those prices up. And I think we're going to see that, like I said before, we're going to see that moving forward as well. The benchmark prices. So the total residential benchmark price and the total benchmark price that takes into apartment condos, townhouses, duplexes, triplexes, as well as single family detached houses, everything gets pushed into that. The average total benchmark price for Saskatoon in March was 415,900. The average detached house, again, which is just the detached house, it doesn't include townhouses or duplexes or anything like that, just a single family home. The average was $477,300, which was up from $444,300 in March of last year. So over $30,000 increase. So what does that mean? Well, homes are worth more, buyers are motivated, and if you're selling, the timing, like I mentioned, the timing is fantastic to be selling right now. In closing, the Saskatoon's spring market's officially on. The spring market is here and things are already moving quickly. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or if you just want to know what your house is worth, give me a shout. Let's make sure that we set things up for success, not surprises. Surprises aren't good when you're buying real estate or selling real estate. And if you've got questions about these numbers or any other numbers, or if you just want to talk to somebody like a real person about what your house might be worth, give me a shout. I'd love to chat with you. If you have any other questions, give me a call.